In this video, we're going to be talking about metrics and analytics. So first of all, I want to define some of the key metrics that we need to pay attention to when we talk about video marketing. So first of all, if your goal is to drive more traffic, then the metric you might want to look at is the click-through rate, or CTR. If you're trying to build a list of contacts, then you might look at the subscription rate metric. If you're looking for qualified prospects, like kind of more the warm leads, then you might look at metrics like playing, sharing, and site action. And if you're looking at converting your leads to customers, then you will want to look at return on investment metrics. So the click-through rate is a performance measure tracking how many clicks an ad receives in relation to the amount of impressions it gets. So the formula for that is clicks divided by impressions. So for example, if you had 5 clicks and 1,000 impressions, your click-through rate would be 5 divided by 1,000, or 0.5%. To calculate the subscription rate, this is the measure of the total viewers who provide their contact information for you. So a subscription rate would be the number of people who subscribed from your video divided by the number of views for the video. So if you had 150 subscriptions and 1,000 views, your subscription rate would be 150 divided by 1,000, or 0.15%. So for qualifying prospects, these are people that maybe played a video that was sent to them in an email, or shared your video after watching it, or did some type of future action on your site. So to measure this, you would have to integrate your CRM, or your customer relationship management system, to your video marketing platform in order to measure the qualifying prospects. Return on investment, that would be measuring the return on your investment in your video strategy specifically. So the ROI would equal the dollar amount of sales from video conversions, so people who watched your video, clicked through, and made a purchase, divided by the amount of money that was spent creating the video. And keep in mind that that could be a large amount of money depending on all the factors that go into it, whether you have to hire talent, editing people, etc. So the ROI would be the dollar amount of sales from video conversions divided by the dollar amount spent on your video. So let's look at what YouTube offers in terms of analytics. You can find YouTube analytics in Creator Studio. So you get to Creator Studio again by selecting your profile icon in the top right corner and then selecting the Creator Studio link under that. And then in the left navigation, you go to Creator Studio, and then Analytics, and then Overview. So the Overview defaults to the last 28 days, but you can customize the date range in the upper right-hand corner to look at shorter or longer periods of time. You can also click the Download Report button to download your report, and then you can choose the Comparison button to compare data from 2 pieces of content to see how they can relate. So the overview shows the performance of the entire account over a specified date range. It shows things like views, the estimated minutes watched, the subscriber gains or losses, engagement such as likes, dislikes, comments, shares, favorites added or removed. It also shows a chart of your top 10 videos on your account based on the number of views, minutes, and likes. And it shows the demographics, the top geography and gender of your demographics. And then discovery, it shows where the content was watched on YouTube, on the YouTube watch page, or an embedded player on another site. And then it shows you the top traffic sources as well. So let's jump over to YouTube and take a look at what that is like. So I'm here on YouTube, and I'm going to click in my channel icon in the top right. This is a different channel that I have that I don't use very often, but I'm going to click on this channel icon, and I'm going to go to Creator Studio. And then I'm going to go to the left over here and go to Analytics. And you can see all the options under here. but I want to just start with the overview. So as you can see, it starts showing some data based on for my video views. Now this shows lifetime up here, but I can show just the last week, the last 7 days, first 7 days, just this month, etc. So let me go to this month and see what's up there. I haven't really uploaded anything lately, but so that shows the last month, for example. But I'm going to go back to lifetime because it has a little bit more data in it. And you can see that there are options to browse groups, to do comparisons. So, for example, if I wanted to select a comparison between this video and this video, I could compare the viewing history of both of these videos. This one's more of a shot in the family room kind of video, and this is more professional. As you can see, it has more views. And then you can see things like the watch time in minutes. So what the, how much time people spend watching it, and the average view duration. So, 58 seconds versus a minute and 34 seconds. Watch time of 237 minutes total versus 218. The number of views is down here, and things like that. So just lots of different things you can look at. So I'm going to delete this comparison here, or cancel comparison. I can hit that up there. I can look at things based on the videos or playlist. I can look at who's watched it on mobile devices. This is always interesting. So mobile views versus computer views. Actually, that's not actually changing, but I probably have to hit search again. But you just get those different options of how you can watch it. So again, you can look at the number of views. If you go down here, you can see demographics. So I can see that most of my audience is female, and a large number of them are the 45 to 54-year-old age range. I can see the total number of minutes and views here again. So there's just all sorts of interesting data you can click through here. Playback locations. This shows you where the video is played back from. So this is people who watched it on the YouTube Watch page. Most did that, it looks like. Several watched it on mobile devices. Others watched it embedded in external websites or apps, probably like Facebook. So that shows that information, which is super interesting as well. So there's just a lot of different things you can look at. I wanted to show you traffic sources as well. So if you go to traffic sources, you can see down here that some of them, where people came from. Some of them came from a Google search. Some were direct. Maybe we sent them a link. Or they came from my channel page, or it was a suggested video that people watched. Devices. So here I can actually see specifically what device they watched it on, and the average watch time and things on that. Subscribers, how many subscribers I have, how many likes and dislikes, how many videos or specific videos in a playlist. So all sorts of different information that you can see. So that's kind of a fun thing to click through and see what you can find. So here are some things you might specifically look for when you look at the analytics. For example, if you want to look at audience retention, and I've put the path to go find that right here, it can show you how over time, how many viewers are actually you're retaining, how many are watching the video for at least 3 seconds, 15 seconds, etc. So if you look at that, you can see that most videos will show a significant drop off about halfway through the video. And if you have a long intro to your video, you might see a steep drop off in retention early on in your content. So you can kind of look at where people are dropping off, and you may want to re-edit your video intro or maybe a specific point in your video to have a stronger opening hook. Maybe they're dropping off at a specific point because You've given them all the information you need, and so they're leaving. But if you want to retain them, maybe you just give them a teaser at that point and don't give them all of the information they need until later on in the video. So you can use those audience retention statistics to help you decide, how to edit the content of your video. Again, this shows the demographics. This shows it a little bit differently than when we were navigating through the page. You've got a pie chart of the male-female split here. You can look at the traffic sources, which we just showed. This shows you where viewers are coming from, whether it's from search or social media or some other website. And then the playback locations. Tracks where videos are embedded on other sites and where people have come from. So we saw that when we were navigating through the site as well. Then let's take a look at Google Analytics and what they show us. So YouTube Analytics offers a lot of information about your video audience and how they find your videos. But once viewers click through to your website, you need to use Google Analytics to determine whether they convert to a sale or to whatever action that you've asked them to do. So in that case, you would want to refer to the referrals report in Google Analytics, which you can find by going to acquisition and then all traffic and then referrals and typing in youtube.com into the search bar to filter results from YouTube. So this is what it sort of looks like. Once you've done that, this is the search bar. You would type youtube.com. You can see here all these different YouTube options as sources, how many total sessions there were, and then how many actually completed the goal of maybe signing up for your newsletter here. So that's how you would kind of use the referral report to see what referrals from YouTube ended up converting into an action. You could also use the Google Analytics social report, and I've put the path here that you can get to the social report. And this helps you understand how engaged the traffic is. If they might bring fewer visitors to your site, but maybe they're more engaged. So this shows that in this graph that from YouTube as a social network, there were 706 or 708 sessions maybe, and the average session duration was 4 minutes and 2 seconds. So while YouTube didn't bring as many people to your site, they stayed a lot longer than they did when they came from any other social media channel. We'll be going deeper into Google Analytics in the end of the semester, but that kind of gives you a general idea of how you might use Google Analytics to measure your success on YouTube.